Hey guys, it's Gabriella, all things diabetes, and today I just want to do a basic pump review. Don't get the Omnipod, it's a piece of junk, and if you have any argue to that, I ask that you view my other Omnipod videos, Over Delivery Exposed. But those of you who are too lazy, because I know I probably would be, too lazy to go and, look it up. Where are we here? Okay. Watch this. Bump. Bump. And I'm barely applying pressure. And look at how much insulin comes out. Okay. See that? Dry tissue here. Okay. Bump. Bump. Hold on. Barely bump. Barely applying any pressure. And there you go. There it comes. Look at all that insulin. Look at all that over delivery. You see that? You see that there? See all that? There. That's our dot. Right there. That's got to be at least 0.3 to 0.5. Okay? Junk. Don't bother. Don't bother with Omnipod's junk. Got your Animas. Got your T-Slim. Got your Minimed. This is not the 530G, although design-wise, it's the exact same thing. The only difference between the 523 and the 530G when it comes to functioning is the end-light sensor is a little bit more accurate, but not by much. And when used with the 530G, the end-light sensor is a little bit more accurate than it is when it's used with the 523. But not by far. Trust me, it's not by far. Even with the 530G and the Minimed, you still have the problem of you got to put the sensor on the same side of your body. So if you're wearing your sensor on your leg or on this side of your abdomen, you got to clip your pump on your left side, okay? Or else you're going to have communication problems. Yes, I've experienced this. If you don't believe me, go ask someone else. Okay? So biggest beef with Minimed is design failure, design flaw. There's insulin here, there's a reservoir in here, okay? I'm going to take that out. It's matched up, okay? Take it out. Hold on. Just untwist the, hold on. Okay. I'm going to untwist it. Take it out. Okay, it has no idea the reservoir is not in alignment with the piston. I'm going to tell you a little story, guys, okay? I was at diabetes camp back when I was a kid. I was on Minimed when I was from ages 16 to 17. Yeah, 16 to 17. No, 16 to 18 I was on Minimed. It was definitely a relief and a savior from this old piece of junk over here, Omnipod. It was definitely a step up. I thought, a lot of people used it. A lot of people liked it. I thought, a lot of people use it. It's got to be safe. It's got to be a good option, Okay, the screen is annoying. Okay. Just the button. I personally didn't like this whole setup down here. I feel like it's a pager from the 1980s. Seriously. Like, one of my doctors wears a pager, and, that looks like a pager. Okay, this over here, that does not look like a pager. Neither does this guy over here. Okay, this is like in between. That's not a pager. No, but that looks like a good old 19th century, 20th century pager. 1900s, 20th century. Okay, as you can see, we've waited a while now. I've talked for a little while, and we see that this pump has no idea there's no cartridge in there. So let's say you drop your pump. Okay. You get a little bit more, you get a little bit extra insulin, and you have a really bad low. This is what happened to me. I dropped it. I got a little bit extra insulin. The piston knocked it forward a little bit. And we didn't realize this. One of the nurses at camp figured this out. So it got a little bit knocked forward. And then I had a really bad low. I was low all night, and I ended up having to get glucagon 3 times. And I literally got my blood sugar. I wasn't at a CGM. So I got tested every 15 minutes. Oh, it was the worst night ever. Okay. So from the next morning, and then I was stable. For 9 hours, from 12 midnight to 9 a.m., I was stable. They kept testing me, every 45 minutes to an hour or so. Okay, I was stable. It was 100s, they were nervous. Okay, I was good. And then, probably from that massive dose of insulin. Then all of a sudden, it's high. And the pump said there was about 150 units of insulin there. I don't remember the exact dose. We looked on the reservoir, because it was time to do a site change. Because I was one of those special campers where I had to do a site change every day because my skin likes to react to cannulas. Okay? And because it was so hot, we had some really hot days. Every time it was like over 80 degrees, the whole camp had to do a site change. Like they were safety freaks. Okay? So, in the reservoir was, this isn't the exact pump of the exact reservoir. It's a different one. But, it was pushed up to 100 units. It was on that one line. You see that one line? The one dash line, okay? The dash one line. Okay, you get what I mean? Yeah, okay. So we discovered that I had about 50 units. I mean, there's no way to really tell, but I guess there was about 50 units delivered or so. That's why I was okay for so long. But then I ended up going to DKA by 11 o'clock the next morning because, in 2 hours I went to DKA. Well, and it wasn't in acidosis quite yet, but I had large ketones, BG 600 plus, off the charts, your P keto stick, so dark, it's black, like that dark purple, throwing up, and because, the insulin stopped working, and, So what had happened was the piston rod was not lined up with the reservoir, and the pump had no idea. And because of that, we had no idea, and we realized, and then when they called the company, they said, well, did she drop the pump? At diabetes camp, you're pretty active, and I was active, and we realized that when I was running up the stairs to dinner, which you shouldn't run up the stairs now. There's a rule against that at camp now. But I was running up the stairs to dinner, the dining hall, and I dropped my pump. And the pump looked fine. There weren't any scratches on it. There weren't any, there wasn't any, dents, any cracks in the screen. The pump looked okay. But looks can be deceiving, as we know. Okay? So that's the whole story about the Minimed. I mean, Minimed's a safe pump. Honestly, I would recommend it to some people. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but, don't go running off, in fear if you're on Minimed, because Minimed's a pretty good pump. It's got some good safety features. It's not a crappy pump. Omnipod's a crappy pump. Minimed's not a crappy pump. It's not a great pump, but hey, it's sure as hell better than nothing. Anything's better than shots. Anything. Okay, so now watch this. We're just going to do a quick prime process here, just to make sure we're all lined up. Okay, so we're rewinding right now. Now, I'm not using this pump. That's the only reason I'm not, so careful and everything. Okay. I'm going to line it up. Now, this is the only time it'll detect. That moment is the only time it detects when it's matched up with the piston, okay? Okay. Now I'm going to show you something, okay? Pump suspended. No insulin should be delivered. See this dot down here? That's right on the line of the cartridge. With this pump, you're in direct line of the cartridge, or reservoir is what they call it. I want you to look real carefully in here, okay, at that dot in there. And we're going to, get all that extra insulin off. And I want you to think about this. Okay, let's not show my address to the world. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to push very slightly. I'm going to add a little bit of pressure. One finger, okay? Why is this? Oh. I'm going to add a little bit of pressure. Okay? And what do we have down here? Drip, drip, drip. Okay, this is really annoying because you can't see. Oh yeah, you can see it. But can you guys see on camera? Okay, watch this. I'm getting all the extra insulin off, Oh, the sun's coming up. Get some dry tissue over here, okay? I'm going to push, give it a little bit of pressure. 3 small pushes. Okay? Now I want you to tell me what you see. Well, you can't really tell me what you see, but what do you see? What's that? That's some insulin, guys. That's some insulin. Okay? Like, yeah. So, you know, life happens, and if that dot gets pushed, you're getting extra insulin. Ever so slightly. Seriously, one finger with my pointer, okay, with my non-dominant hand, okay? That much pressure causes over-delivery with Medtronic. So if you're on Medtronic and you're concerned about this, put it in your bra, or, sorry for your guy, that was awkward, but put it in your pocket. Just make sure, just be really careful that you don't, you know, hit that dot, because if you do, you're probably going to get a couple insulin. And remember, the pump was suspended the whole time. We're going to resume now. So that's just a design flaw of the Medtronic pump series with Medtronic pumps. Unless you're using a pump from before this century. It was a 507, 508, 508 something, 511. If you're using a 512, which is expired, so you shouldn't be. If you're using a pump pre-2003 Medtronic, then you don't really have to worry about this. But if you're using a pump that was made after 2003, so if you're using a pump that looks, you know, like a Paradigm, or if it says Minimed or Paradigm right here, then you have to worry about that, okay? So that's my point about the Medtronic and Medtronic over-delivery exposed.